Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the SFFRomCast. This is season 10, and we've got a little something special for this season. First off, introduction. As always, I am Jessica, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host,
Emma, hello. Yeah, so we are doing a special summer season. Normally we just do one-off sort of bonus episode over the summer, but this year, because we are going to the amazing Meet Cute Book Festival, we decided we could do some flash interviews with some of the authors that are going to be there, or readers if they happen to come along as well. Um, but before we're at that festival, we've actually arranged to have Andi Michael-Forsythe, who is the founder of the Meet Cute Festival, to come in and chat to us because we figured she might be a little bit busy on the day. We
yeah,
thought, yeah. So, yeah, Andy, hi. Thank you for joining us. And
welcome.
yeah, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your writing?
Sure. Hi, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited that you guys are going to be there on the day of the festival, and chatting to everyone. So yes, my name is Andi Michael-Forsythe. I've been a writer for about a decade, maybe longer. I've written under a bunch of different names. So I started my career writing rom-coms under A.L. Michael, kind of when the first ebook boom started,
Yeah.
with HarperCollins. And then I did that for a while, and then I wrote some sort of like book club romances under Andrea Michael, and then most recently I wrote The Fixer Upper and Deal Breakers under Lauren Forsyth, which were a lot more kind of commercial women's
Mhm.
fiction, women. Yeah, and then last year I decided to start this festival, and so we did our first one last year that was a little test. It was like a freebie one in my local rose garden park in Bushy. And then this year we've gone kind of all out and done like a proper thing.
Well,
Yeah.
this is it. I was going to say that would be the question because you've got a lot of things under your belt. What was the inspiration to sort of go with this then?
I think everyone had been talking about it for a long time. Being in the romance writing community, we've been saying for years, oh, it'd be so good if there was something for us. You look at Harrogate, you look at the
Mm.
thriller fest. Like, there's lots of crime ones, there's lots of thriller ones, and there's not really one for romance for readers and writers. Um, so, me and my friend Pernilla Hughes, we'd gone to like a local festival and had a little stall and tried to do that. And we were the only romance writers there. And people
Mhm.
just weren't having it. They just weren't interested.
Yeah.
And we're going, but we know people love this. We know.
Yes.
Um, so I just kind of thought, oh, you know what? I like a bit of an event. I like a bit of planning. So I thought I'll have a go. And it's just, yeah, it's been so joyful.
Yeah, that is amazing because it's such a big undertaking to do something like that.
Yeah,
So
we were
thank you.
just chatting about it,
Yeah,
weren't we? That you
yeah,
don't. I bet there's so many things you're like, oh, I'll do this, and then you don't think about, well, do I need tables? How many toilets? Where are people going to park? It's
Yeah, it's the practicality stuff is because yeah, it's all very, it's me sitting like with a glue gun at home going, oh, I'm going to do this. And then it's something like, oh, by the way, this insurance and this kind of traffic
yeah.
plan for the local council and
God,
this,
and
there's a lot of,
toilets and things.
yeah,
yeah.
how many toilets have we got and how, are there enough
Yeah,
food stalls and is there enough, are we covering gluten free? And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So, and I know a lot of people kind of go, you're mad. Why on earth have you done this? Um, but I like a little bit of pressure and a
But we're
fiction book. So
yes, fun, and we're here for it. So
this is it. Wow. And like you say, there's so many readers out there that are so passionate in romance, the romance community. It just is, yeah, it's always seemed kind of crazy that there's not anything really out there for it. So, yeah,
yeah,
really
I think
looking
I mean
forward to
there's
it.
a lot of like there's signing ones and there's like things that you
Hmm.
get. I think there's is it four books, four
Oh,
authors.
for sit no. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It's
yeah,
four cities or
Yeah.
four authors or
Yeah,
something
and
like
they
that,
seem
isn't it?
huge if
Yeah.
there's a lot of signing
and
stuff, but
there's
this is
Rare as well that does loads, isn't there?
Mm.
yeah. So I think trying to explain to people that we're kind of going, oh, we're not taking away from that. That's awesome. But it's just this is
Yeah.
like actually a
It's
festival in a field,
yeah.
festival vibes, just because
Yeah.
I love a festival as well. So I thought, if it's mine and I'm just doing it by myself, I'm just going to do all the things I love.
This is our philosophy as well with the
Really it is.
podcast.
That's
We're
why the
like,
podcast started.
do we do this thing? Well, we want to. It's our
Yeah,
podcast, so let's
yeah.
do it.
Nobody can stop us.
No one can stop us. Not yet, anyway. Um, yeah, so there's obviously, because you've only had the one so far, like you said last year, and there's been a huge explosion in romantasy within romance since last year. Um, did that change any of your plans as you kind of envisioned it when you were looking at it last year and thinking about doing this year? Did you decide?
Yeah, so last year I was really eager to have a romanticy panel on in our first one. And it's something I'm passionate about, and I knew, I knew a lot of people and those kind of, it's a real obsessive loving community. So I was like, look, I want this. And I struggled to find the authors, which
Oh,
was really
really?
surprising. Like, so
Wow.
it's only a year ago, really, with the planning, probably a year and a half.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, last one was in June 2024, and I really struggled to find, I think I found one author who is now on the panel this year.
Right.
Um, so I couldn't push it through. And
Mm-hmm.
this year, because of that huge leap, and also I suppose we're a bit more recognized, it'd gone well last year. And then also we've had a lot more publishers on board pitching their authors this year.
Mm.
So
Okay.
this year I knew I wanted a romantasy one, and immediately that was probably the first one to be filled, I think.
Brilliant.
So and then I've ended up, did we have a different, I'm now hosting it. So
Oh, right.
um,
Okay.
I think we
Yeah.
did have someone else originally, but I was like, I want to do something to, not that I'm busy enough on the day, but so because it's the one I'm passionate about it. So I thought, oh, I'll take my chance here and host it. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Put on
it
the
is
new
funny when
hat.
you're going through that kind of transition into something and everything's coming out, but it seems like it's nothing, 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 and then suddenly boom, isn't it? Yeah. And like you
yeah.
say, you're like finding your feet with it. So it can sometimes, I think in the past, we found that with trying to find guests for the podcast too. It's been like, well, who can we find? Particularly, how long have we been going now, Just 4 years,
4 years, something
5 years?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we were doing it, we basically started this because it was like, we know there's all these readers that enjoy it, but traditional publishing wasn't really interested. So we were trying to like lift up the books.
Mhm.
But yeah, trying to find yeah, the people who can come in and do things could be a little bit tricky, but it's getting
Yeah.
easier now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Well, and now
everybody's.
especially you kind of hear a lot of publishers are, they just want romantasy. That's what they're
Mm,
looking for at the moment. So it kind of, yeah, you're right. It's kind of like this snowball effect where it's like nothing for ages and then suddenly it's the only thing. Uh,
yeah.
and then you kind of see how long that lasts, I guess.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, this is it. It all goes down eventually. But speaking of romantasy, little birds tweet all the time, and we hear that you're writing your own. What can you tell us about it?
So not a huge amount. So it's on submission at the moment with publishers, which is exciting and also horrific and probably the worst part of the process.
Yeah.
Um, because you have no power. It's just out in the world. And
Mm,
so it's good that I've got the festival to focus on, really. It's an urban fantasy. So I love the traditional fantasies and the big world building and stuff. This is more built, it's like a hidden world within London.
hmm
And it's to do with archers and breakers and these divine beings who make sure that the right love stories happen, and that the right breakups happen. And it kind of is
Okay.
focused on the fact that breakups are really important. We focus on love stories and how they get together and how they start, but actually, breakups build us up as people. They send us in the right direction. They send us into new careers. They move, and they send you on to the right next person. So it's all about these sort of agents of fate, and how they interact with each other. And then there's also, an enemies to lovers vibe because I cannot stop myself.
We all
Yes.
love it.
We all love it, definitely. So I mean, that's just off the back of that, I was going to say, because like so many people are writing romancy, I think hopefully what's going to happen is like more of the other sort of subgenres, like you're saying, like the urban fantasy, are going to start getting pulled in a bit more with the publishers. So good luck with that. I'd love
Thank
love
you.
to see that when it comes out. Um, so yeah, when did you start reading fantasy romance? And what are your What was your favorite book that brought you into it?
I mean, it feels like ages. I definitely used to read, when I was a teen as well. I read everything as a teenager. So there was sci-fi, there was fantasy, but I always needed a little bit. I just need a romance storyline in there somewhere. I can read anything as long as there's a good romance storyline.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm an ACOTAR girly. I'm obsessed. I'm still obsessed. Yeah, so one of my friends recently started reading the first book, and I immediately was just like, just get to the 75%. That's when it gets really good, and then get to the second book, and like then you will understand. Like you have to. That's the only one where I'm like, the first one's a bit weak. But once you're in it, you're in it. And I've now reread that series. Like I don't read the first one. I read the last little bit of the first one, and then I've read the entire series about 8 times,
Yeah.
just for comfort. But I also love the ones that are on the fringe. So I've forgotten her name, like Belladonna and
Oh, yeah.
forgotten her name. That's awful.
I was going to say
Grace or
I've got it
something like
somewhere, and
that,
I've got
isn't it?
Foxglove, and
Yeah.
I can't either.
I haven't read them yet. They're on the TBR waiting.
Oh no, it is here.
Yeah.
Adalyn Grace. There we go.
Adalyn Grace, that's it.
Yes. So, and I loved, like, I read some of her earlier books before she sort of started this vibe as well, and they were great.
Yeah.
And then I'm also like a big V.E. Schwab fan. So like Addie LaRue is probably my favorite book ever. And again, that's like on the line, right? It's not quite romantasy, but it kind of feeds into the real world. And I've just got her new one that I'm about to start.
Yes, that does sound awesome. Yeah.
Some good recs for that one. So, as we are talking all things romantasy, we are doing a ballot at the Meet Cute to see what the favourite romantasy tropes are going to be for the people out there. Do you have a favourite, and why? And I'm not going to say what I want to say, but enemies to lovers. Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's that, it is enemies to lovers, definitely. I mean, it's the sassy back and I mean, they're the best things to write. They're the best things to read when they're just like picking at each other. I always think like the original of that, it goes right back to like Pride and Prejudice, where they're just like sassy back and forth. And I will read that every damn day of the week. Also, I just think it's so, especially having written it a few times in different books, you really do have to walk that line of like not too much of an arsehole. Like if you make the guy too much, people are like, nah, that guy's an arse, and that's a red flag, and I'm not into that. You have to walk it so carefully where it's like this is understandable, or it seems really rude, but actually there's a reason, or like there's such a, or even like when the female main character is too sassy and too rude, because people love, people hate an unlikable woman. I love an unlikable.
Yes.
Make them more unlikable.
Yeah, they are definitely more hard on the female main characters, but for behavior that, the male main characters could totally get away with.
Yeah. And hers is understandable. Come on.
Just you're faced with this absolute arse, like you gotta hold your own. So that is my favorite. And then also I suppose if it's just like fantasy tropes, like I love a chosen one. I love a fated. I love the idea that through reading something you can be super normal as a person, and just one day your life is completely changed and you're important. I think that's the joy of fiction.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very much reading these things and having these opinions and then being like, yeah, but I struggle sometimes getting the bins up. It's like, it's very much living vicariously through it.
Yes. But I will add a note to say that we aren't going to mess with the ballot. If Enemies to Lovers does win,
it wasn't fixed.
We will have somebody, it will be like we will get Eurovision people in and we will count it properly and it'll be well done.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. So I think that kind of brings us to the end of our little thing. We just ask what's next for you. Obviously, you said you're on submission, so in writing terms, I guess you're waiting and also very, very busy with the festival. But yeah, what else have you got going on?
Yeah, I mean, those are the two main things really. Once the festival dies down, we'll start planning for 2026. Because there's a lot of things I've even learned just before we've even started the date. There's a lot of things I learned along the way this time around that I've thought, oh, next year that's going to work really well. So yeah, I will probably jump in well, maybe not straight away. We'll take a couple
I was
of weeks.
going to say a
Have a
holiday,
week.
maybe.
Yeah.
Something
A
like
bit of a
that.
break. I'm
Yeah.
going on holiday the week after, so I have got a little bit of a break.
Excellent.
Nice. Yeah.
And then so it'd be that, and then once I've run out of things to distract myself with that, I'll maybe start writing another book, but hopefully we'll have
Yeah.
found something by then because it's just waiting. And in the meantime, I have a toddler constantly abusing me.
Right. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that. Yes.
That's busy. Yeah. Finding the time to write as well
Yeah,
as
to write and
running a
toddler and
festival and having a toddler. That is fun.
I also just started a business with my husband, so that was kind of like you're getting a sense of my personality now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I see I'm a little bit like this, and I have to say to Jess, I've had this idea, and she goes,
Yeah.
What's the
This
idea?
year or next?
Just
Yeah.
stop.
Maybe next year.
Just
Yeah.
stop with the ideas. But
Well,
they're good
but I will say,
sometimes.
sometimes it works. Sometimes you need to kind of put the plate down and
Yes.
then pick one or two up
Yes.
less.
Yeah.
But I will say, when your romantic does come out, you can come and have a chat with us again whenever that happens to be.
Absolutely. Yeah. That'll be
Hope it
amazing.
does come out, and it'll come out at some point in some way,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you so much for joining us, and
Yes, it's
thank
been
you
awesome.
for organising the Meet Cute Festival. We're really looking
And
forward
allowing
to it.
us to come along.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
That's
I'm so
it.
pleased you're going to be there.
That's brilliant. And yeah, good luck with everything, and we shall hopefully be having you back on soon.